All right, guys, before I get started, if you want to find a really good fighting game, this one right here is great. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. It is one of my favorite fighting games. It is in my rotation right now. I am thoroughly enjoying this game. It's always on sale. Every time I look around, it's around $19, $20. I highly recommend looking into playing this. It has a steep learning curve, but it is great. I am not getting paid by SNK or nothing, but I know a good game when I see it. I highly recommend it. So, with that being said, let's get into the video that I wanted to talk about is my health update. I've been going back and forth with my health, and I've been showing all the workouts I've been doing, not every day, but especially on the weekends when I go to the YMCA. And there's a lot of progress that I'm going in, that I'm getting into, and I feel great. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing crazy going on, but I do have one dilemma that I'm dealing with, and I'm pretty sure you guys probably heard this before. I have an issue where my midsection is not going down, and it's usually the last thing that goes away once you start, losing weight and getting more fit and getting in shape. One thing about it is that I thought that my midsection was actually getting bigger and my stomach was just like poking out more or whatever. And I was like, what is going on here? But the main thing is, and what I've understood when I talked to my primary healthcare provider or my doctor, she told me you're basically losing weight everywhere else, and the midsection is the last one to go. So there's a lot of different things I'm gonna have to do when I'm trying to lower that midsection. Because one thing I would say, a lot of guys, and especially guys around my age range, anywhere between the 35 up to 50 age range, and even older, we are dealing with a situation where our midsection is constantly out there, and it looks like that we're pregnant. And that's one thing I wanted to get rid of. And there has been progress in my midsection, but the rest of my body, like my legs, my arms, are getting toned up so well, is the fact that the midsection look like it's getting bigger, and it kind of calls for concern. And I know I see a lot of guys out here with the same issue, and I'm not coming through with a big remedy on how to get that fixed. But one thing I do know is I have to understand that I have to get rid of certain things that are a part of my diet, but it's not, infused to my diet. There's things that I like casually, like caffeine. Like, I don't drink a lot of caffeine, but I love drinking coffee at least 2 or 3 days out of the week. And I know that may not seem like a lot, but the caffeine it does keep your midsection in a certain space due to cortisol, which I'll talk about that in a second. Also, I'm not drinking enough water. Now, I know you've seen other videos where I have like this big jug of water, and I do drink the water or whatever the case may be, but I don't drink it. I don't drink all of it on a daily basis. I'll probably drink like a fourth of it, maybe a third of the jug, but I need to drink at least, 3/4, 75%, 70% of that water daily, and that will help flush out a lot of things that I'm doing. Another thing I need to do is, honestly, I do get enough, but I need to get more sleep, because I just get enough just to get by. And I get around that 6, maybe 6.5 hours a night. I need to get up to 7 plus a night. So just skirting by is not going to get it done when I'm trying to lose this midsection. And the last but not least thing is stress. Now, I just did a video about stress. And the thing about it is, stress really keeps our body in bondage. It's like it shackles us. Like, we cannot move anywhere because of the stress that we hold on to. This is why I like to play video games. It really, it is a stress reliever. Also, I like to do other things like go walking and do other type of physical activity when it comes to exercise, because it does alleviate a lot. That's what's going on, and I highly recommend that those two things alone will help a lot. But you do actually have to eat right, and there's one thing that I've been doing a phenomenal job with my diet. But like I said, I love drinking coffee. I drink it probably a little bit too much, and I may need to go caffeine free. Also, that I do love a little bit of sweets, especially Nestle Crunch. I can eat those all day, as well as a little bit of taffy type of sugary, candies with taffy. Those type of things, I can eat those all day, and it's kind of like my kryptonite. But I'm not eating enough to where it's hindering my progress. It's just that the fact that all that type of stuff goes to the stomach, and And when you like have a little bit of stress going on and you're not necessarily doing everything you're supposed to as far as flushing out your system and getting some of that stuff that you're putting in out, your body just tends to hold on to something, and it mostly stays in the midsection. You see a lot of guys that look pretty good everywhere else, but that midsection is a lot of cortisol. Now I'm gonna get into that. The cortisol is basically a mechanism in your system that holds on to visceral fat, and that stuff the fat that's around your stomach. No matter how many sit-ups you do, no matter how many other planks or other things you do, is going to hold on to that. If you're like stressed out, if you're still putting things in your body that holds on to that fat, that sticks to your stomach. You ever heard that term, stick to your stomach? That's kind of what it is. And as long as you keep holding on to that stuff, it's gonna be very, very difficult to get rid of. So for me, everything is going good, but the only thing I really need to focus on is toning down on the caffeine, tone down on certain things that I intake, and really just focus and continue to work at what I'm doing as far as the physical work, the push-ups, the sit-ups, the lunges, the planks, the weightlifting, all those things that keep that midsection kind of toned down. Because trust me, it was worse than what it was before, but now it is going down. But the fact that my arms are more toned up, my legs are more toned up, like that midsection is the last one to go. So I need to get that taken care of. Because you gotta understand, like, one thing about us men, we work a lot. We do a lot of things and we don't get our workouts in. And that's really much the detriment to us. And then our intake, and then we already are stressing with a lot of things. Us men, we stress about so much stuff, taking care of bills, doing things around the house, doing things for yourself, work, traffic, dealing with things financially, dealing things with things emotionally. And men, we got a lot of stuff going on. So and not even talking about what we put in our bodies, what are we eating, what are we not eating, what are we drinking, what are we not drinking. And it's really it's really a lot. And at the end of the day, I feel like the most important thing is your health, and you got to get that in order. And ever since I had my scare back in 2025, I really just been pushing on trying to get this under control. And I've done a phenomenal job. All my numbers are straight, but the only thing that is dealing with me that I'm dealing with right now is my midsection. It's going down a lot, but it's like the only thing that's not matching everything else that I got going on with my body. Like, I really feel much better when it comes to my body, but whatever. But the main thing is, and I don't want to get too graphic or nothing crazy, right? But when you look at your midsection and you look down, there's certain body parts you can't see. And, like, I don't have that issue anymore, but there was at one point it was like that. I mean, we just got to keep it 100. And it's, you can't see your feet, you can't see other things, and I had to get that situated. So I'm right there to the point where that's not an issue, but the fact that I'm losing weight in all other areas, I'm toning up everything else, it just looks like my stomach is starting to grow. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? But no, like I said, I talked to my primary care doctor, and it's like, nah, you're good, and everything is toning down, but that's the last one that tends to go. So with that being said, we're gonna have to work a little harder, be a little bit more disciplined, and do more things under that situation. So hopefully, within the next 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 months, I can have a flat stomach, because that's the only thing that's hindering me right now. But I just wanted to share that health update with you guys. Everything is good. It's just the only thing that is, hindering me right now. Let me know if you have your own, journey that you're going through. How's that going? What is going on with that? How are you making it in that situation? Because I think that we all need help somewhere. All of us got to start somewhere. Some of us have our vices and we don't really understand how to get over that. And I've been there, and I'm not all the way there yet. I haven't made it, but my journey is still going. So I'm still into that. So you guys let me know what you think, where you guys are, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.